Was this the right move right now to see FISA expire for the first time ever?
Oh, no. I mean, we should have passed FISA months ago. You know, there have been several attempts. I voted to extend FISA, and all it required was some reforms that were pretty straightforward, which they didn't want to pursue, and we still, pushed forward because it's such an important national security tool. And then Bill Pulte comes along and reaffirms that they're not serious about using this tool responsibly. This is a guy who is known for going after Trump's political enemies as opposed to doing any actual, serious work, certainly not national security related serious work. And so you saw Democrats and Republicans say, no, you gotta be more serious. We're talking about national security and intelligence collection.
So if the president were to name someone else to serve in that role on a permanent basis between now and June 19th, when Bill Pulte was supposed to take over, would you fly back to Washington and vote to extend FISA? Should the House be called back from recess if the opportunity arises?
Yeah, and I suspect others would too. I'm not sure they get to the majorities they need. There should be reforms, but yeah, I suspect that if the administration did what most presidents do, which is to work with the United States Congress and say, hey, I want to get this done. This is incredibly important to our national security. I want to get everybody in a room. This would have gotten resolved months ago. Like so many problems, they just fail, to do anything other than sort of have Trump sit in the Oval Office and do press conferences and talk about things, but almost no work. I mean, zero work.
Well, there's obviously a reason why you think it should be renewed. Section 702 informs more than half of the president's daily briefing. We know that it has helped to stop terror attacks against this country. And we also know that the World Cup is just about to begin. What do you think of this narrative that the country is less safe going into this weekend that kicks off 147 soccer games?
Yeah, I think it's true in the sense that between this failure of the administration to get FISA done and this congressional Republican majority to get it done, you also just have an FBI that's being run by Kash Patel, that's focused no longer on the priorities around law enforcement, but again, like Pulte, going after the president's political enemies. And so the concerns about our safety are very serious, and somebody has to step up and be the adult in the room. And Johnson could do it, Thune could do it, obviously Trump could, but until one of them steps up and says, hey, we're gonna do things a little bit differently, we're gonna see this kind of nonsense. I don't know what to say. It's a terrible thing. I do believe that the courts will step in and require some of this intelligence sharing to continue, but it makes the professionals who do this work, it makes their job so much harder.
Congressman, I'd also like to ask you about what we're hearing from the president now as to the way forward for the United States when it comes to the conflict with Iran. We've already seen strikes that the U.S. says it has conducted in self-defense for the last 2 days. The president is now promising today we'll bring a third round of strikes, and he's even suggesting we could go in and seize Karg Island. Listen, if you will, sir, to what the president said in an interview on Fox earlier today.
Yeah, there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be a bigger, more powerful. They're finished. But the papers, the media refuses to write it. They're finished. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place. They're finished. And the media is crooked. They're just like our elections. The media is crooked.
So, Congressman, as he suggests he could put ground troops on Iranian soil, I know at the onset of this conflict, you actually did see justification for destroying some of Iran's military capacity. You suggested it would stop them from taking more lives. Should the U.S. be willing to risk the lives of service members on the ground in pursuit of that same aim?
No, the original mission was, to destroy the weapons shield that was being built back up around the enrichment facilities, so that, we or one of our allies could go get the enriched material. This thing got, taken, well beyond that. And a couple things seem clear at this point. One, he doesn't sound well, and I think that's going to be something that people talk about moving forward. It wasn't just that he, this report about his own health and all these specialists, but he just sounds not in good shape. The second thing is that he's not doing any of this with anyone, right? So there's no coalition in Congress, there's no coalition internationally, and that is a position of weakness. He's put us in a position of weakness. And then the third thing is that his communication abilities are profoundly, they're terrible. He's supposed to be this great communicator, and he's just all over the place, and it is such a reckless thing to do as commander-in-chief.
Interesting, Congressman. I was reading a story about you in the New Yorker that ran at the beginning of March, and the headline is "Why a Democratic Congressman is Supporting Trump's War with Iran." We were in a very different world at that point. I know you had a war powers resolution that would require the president, after 30 days, to get permission, and also would bar ground troops from being involved. But you talked about your hope that this would be a limited incursion and not a war. Do you regret a headline like that? Does that frame your view still at this point?
Well, I didn't frame my view at the time. I mean, I believe that the United States and the world must confront the issue of Iran. Like, we can't continue to ignore the regime and what it's trying to do in terms of nuclear weapon, but also just the amount of money they spend on the terror in the Middle East, and what we've had to do and our allies have had to do to respond to Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis. I mean, it's just, it has to stop. Now, it does require taking action, though I believe you need a big-time leader who can rally the country and the Congress and the world, and Trump absolutely failed to do that.
Well, as we consider the president's decision-making here and how it may or may not align with the desire of Congress, it does seem we're starting to see more breaks, Congressman, with even Republicans on Capitol Hill not necessarily willing to go along with the desires of the White House. And I wonder if that's why you feel that time might be right for a massive piece of what you're describing as anti-corruption legislation. The Drain the Swamp Act seems to me, Congressman, like actually a series of other bills that are going to be packaged into one gigantic one that would even do things like enforce term limits on the Supreme Court. What's the real prospect of something like this getting through this Congress and this Washington?
Yeah, I mean, it's the most, comprehensive anti-corruption legislation I think ever, and it deals with the rampant, corruption. Even if it's perception, there's just an enormous amount of distrust. You got to fix a bunch of things at the White House, in the executive branch, in Congress, at the Supreme Court. And we wanted to give the American people in the United States Congress a comprehensive bill so that they can talk to their elected officials or people running for office and the next president of the United States to say, if you're going to run and you're going to ask for my vote, I want to know that you're going to actually drain the swamp. I want to know that you're going to vote for this Drain the Swamp bill. And so we wanted to make sure that that bill was there so that the American people could push for it. Odds are this Congress will have no interest in passing the Drain the Swamp Act, and unfortunately the president won't. But the next group, the next crew of leaders congressionally and folks at the White House hopefully will get an earful from the American people, and they will be convinced that part of getting elected means voting for this Drain the Swamp bill and ridding ourselves of this cancer of corruption that we've seen for years, if not decades.